What's up, everyone? It's your favorite coach and analyst, Scoot, back to talk about some more pick and ban related things. We're going to be looking at a few crazy counter picks that I saw this past week. Most notably, Dr. Mundo for Africa Freaks versus SK Telecom, which I still can't understand, and Tahm top lane for the Chiefs versus Exile 5. And I know, there's a lot of stuff going on with the OPL right now, but we're going to be focusing on picks and bans and not any kind of drama. So let's start off by looking at SKT versus Afrika. Now this is, normally everyone thinks, oh, Afrika, they're gonna kill SKT right off the bat like they always do, but they make a very interesting draft choice. And although they do go on to lose this game, I wanna just go step by step in their draft, see what they're thinking, and kind of explain why they would pick such a weird pick in Dr. Mundo. So the first band's definitely relevant and repeated over and over again. Malzahar, Camille, nobody wants to see those. Kennen, though, that's specific to Marin. Marin has been really good on his on-hit Kennen, and that is one of his favorite champions to play this season so far. So taking that away from him is going to be a good priority for SKT. Then you have the takeaway from Varus. Once again, just an OP ADC right now. They just want to take that away because they know, they don't want Bang on it. Graves, another decent ban. It's just getting rid of the jungle, because if they ban Graves and they have something in mind for their own first pick, and we'll see what it is right in a second. Afrika, they just auto ban that LeBlanc right there, and they want to put Huni back on that Rumble. Huni's Rumble is a pretty good pick overall, and as a first pick, it locks SKT into either picking too much AP by also going an AP mid laner, or forcing them into an AD mid laner such as Talon or Zed, which is why Afrika, they want to try to take away a big AD threat in the jungle in Rengar. Also, Rengar is pretty good right now, and I would definitely take Rengar into a Rumble anytime because he can out-damage Rumble, outburst him pretty quickly. Lulu, she's been gaining a lot of popularity across 7.4 and 7.5, so seeing her alongside the Rengar, it takes away one of Rengar's most potent counter picks while also being able to buff up the Rengar. He goes in, you pop Lulu everything, like move speed and stuff onto him, and he's going to be unkillable, super tanky, and have extra damage on his auto attacks thanks to the picks. It's going to be super scary to watch. SKT are going to try to counter with another early game jungler, something Peanut can duel him with. I think they lock in the Lee Sin here. I might misremember. They do, actually. They lock in the Lee Sin. It's something that can fight Rengar. It's something that can disengage the Rengar and kind of separate him out of the fight. Help peel a little bit for Ashe. Also has the option to set up plays. You stun someone with the Ashe arrow, you can kick them back into your team and instantly kill them. And at that point, they're going to be way too far away for Lulu to do anything to them. Alternatively, Lulu can just polymorph the Lee Sin, then they blow up the Lee Sin, and it's night-night for the blind man, who is getting a fantastic looking skin coming up. Ezreal is going to be the last lock-in for Afrika. It doesn't really synergize well with Lulu because Ezreal doesn't really auto-attack, so he doesn't get the picks damage off as much, nor is he going to need the mobility from the Lulu W. So that Lulu pick is definitely more for the Rengar, because ADC Ezreal on his own is fine. Then Afrika, they ban away the Orianna, because that's just a solid mid lane pick, and that extra shield, the utility from her kit, as well as her game-changing ultimate, they want to keep that out of Faker's hands. Zyra, I feel like that's a standard bot lane ban. And here is the pick for Afrika Freaks. They see the Lee Sin is really the only disruption they have right now, so they feel comfortable with Mundo next as a dive buddy for that Rengar. Like, there's a lot to talk about just in this phase, why they're comfortable with picking this Mundo. I mentioned earlier that SKT is either going to be locked into having a Zed or a Talon mid lane, or too much AP. And what is Mundo pretty good against? AP, because he builds health, and health counters burst damage. Not only that, but Mundo into Rumble is not a bad lane for Mundo. He just has to basically survive the first few levels, and then he can outtrade by just tossing cleavers further away than Rumble can launch his harpoons and things like that. So it's a super comfortable pick. I don't know exactly, like, it's definitely not the best pick, especially after having Nautilus and Maokai banned away. It seems like there aren't really any more options for tanks in the top lane. Plus, the Kennen was banned away. They're super focusing down Marin, focusing him so hard that he has to go to something that it might have worked in scrims. He might have been practicing it on the solo queue, but Mundo overall, not an awful pick here because SKT, they think we have to counter this Mundo with a little more disengage in the Karma. She has a slow, she has that snare, and SKT, they do take the AD, so they are going to have the mixed damage. The only, like, Huni, he can't really build Morello. Well, he can't build Morellonomicon at all. Karma could, but that would delay her actual support build super long, and if she got it late, it would be almost too late at that point. So it locks Ash into trying to build that Mortal Remind, that Executioner's Calling earlier than she normally would have to, which limits her damage output because now she's not getting as much crit and attack speed, although she will be getting that armor shred. Mundo, still questionable at this stage of the game, but if they get a mid laner that kind of synergizes with it, the Rise is available. He can just put Mundo onto the back line with his ultimate or reposition himself. And it's at this point Afrika kind of notices we don't really have hard CC. We don't have, like, we have Lulu and then Rengar Snare. They don't have any hard CC outside of that, so they kind of have to go with Rise, who has another point and click route to try to, make team fights bearable. But looking at Afrika's team, they definitely have a very great late game team comp because late game Mundo with Lulu is going to be unkillable. Let me. We're going to show the champions eventually. I just want to see the side by side for the champions. I should have practiced this earlier. But you're getting my point. Afrika has a fantastic late game team comp, but the only problem is at the very Jesus Christ. The only problem is the very end of that game they are basically like in their base at 20 minutes. So, although the Mundo does kind of work, they fall way behind way too early because they're so late game focused. And SKT, they have early roams in the Talon. They can launch Ash arrows across the map along with roaming with the Karma, early game jungler in Peanut, mid game power spike in Rumble. So SKT outdrafted anyway in the first place, but it's worth noting that Mundo could have worked if Afrika didn't already have such a late game oriented draft in the Ezreal and the Lulu and Rengar. Not so much because he does have early and mid game power, but they also kind of put themselves in a hole by making sure that they have the Rise there too. So their team comp is way too late game. They get smashed early game, and it is no bueno for them at all. The next game is Chiefs versus Exile 5. And this is actually a matchup I've played personally, although, gold ELO doesn't really count for pro play, though with OPL you never really know. Ha, ha, ha. Uh, these bans, the Graves ban is an obvious choice. They're playing on patch 7.5, so he's still really strong. They haven't really nerfed lethality that hard. Graves is just powerful in general. These Ari and Echo bans are definitely like the pinpoint focusing bans, and it looks like they want to ban these less strong champions so the OPs can stay up, because now the Chiefs, they can't ban Zyra, they can't ban Camille, they can't ban Malzahar. All of these champions are still up and willing, and they even follow suit with a Cassiopeia ban. So we know OPs are going to be up this game. It's just a matter of which ones. Exile 5 is going to respond eventually with a Kindred ban. What the hell? That's why you're 0-7, Exile 5. Let's be honest. Last ban is going to be Syndra, so definitely mid-oriented ban right now. It's definitely going to pinch that champion pool, but there are so many decent mids that it kind of doesn't matter. The first pick is going to be that Camille. Camille, obviously, one of the strongest top laners right now. Pick and ban can be played as a support as well. It's kind of stupid. Chiefs are going to counter with the same Lulu Rengar, and they know that Lulu Rengar is going to work pretty well for them. Lulu, especially against Camille, can work well because if Camille dives in on anyone, ult them, then hit the polymorph, and you're good to go. I mean, she can't really do anything after that. Exile 5, they're going to try to...
Yeah, and Rengar's, I mean, nice and aggressive. It's definitely something that Fesh is comfortable on.
I don't know how sound was coming out of that one. It's supposed to be muted. But they're going to round themselves out with Elise in the jungle. They kind of could have held on to... Actually, no. Because then the jungle pool would have been banned in the second round. They get Elise, and they get the Karma, so we can kind of see where they're going. They want to be able to run around the map and get picks, and try to, work something out with this pick comp. You have the Elise stun someone, and then you have Camille jump in on them, while you have Karma helping you run around the map. This is where they picked the Tahm Kench, and in the context of where they picked it in the rotation right now, Jesus. It's actually not that bad, because Lulu could be flexed mid or top. Top, not really recommended, but could be flexed mid, even though she's not nearly as strong as she used to be in the mid lane. Tahm Kench has been played top before, although not so far in Season 7 to my memory. And at this point, you kind of have to realize that Tahm Kench is going to be going top lane, and this is where they decide to start banning out, the Chiefs decide to start banning out, the Jace, because they know Jace can poop on a Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench is super good into tanks, super good into those bruisers and fighters in the top lane as well. So picking Tahm Kench into Camille has two purposes. One, he can just eat whoever she ults on and then run away giggling, or if she ults onto him in like a one-on-one situation, he eats her, spits her back up, does all of her health and damage, and then she's just pretty much dead. Red side, they ban out the Varus, which is why I was saying to myself they probably could have picked jungle later on, though then they would have used one of their bans to pinch the jungle pool even harder, which, I mean, you can definitely fall back to a Rek'Sai, especially if you have someone as mobile as this guy. You can still have someone there. I don't like this Elise pick at all, but if they thought it was best at the time, which it could have been, but Lulu does have anti-dive. Rengar is not going to lose that 1v1 unless he walks into her jungle with 0 stacks, so he can't cleanse her stun. So, in reality, there's absolutely no reason to pick Elise this early. The response bans, Lucian, super questionable. Zed, I really don't know what they're going with here. Varus and Jace, they're taking out more AD. They're taking away a lot of poke, which Tahm Kench doesn't do super well into, and they're taking away disengage tool in Varus. Lucian is just a damage ADC. He's not even super strong right now. They are on 7-5, which we have very little data on right now, but I don't think Lucian is strong enough to warrant a ban. Zed ban, I still don't know what that is. And picking LeBlanc on patch 7.5, what is that? Exile 5's picking bans after this Camille. Their bans are awful. I have no idea what they're banning here. Unless their data showed them, oh, we gotta ban out this guy. Right here. They're all solo Q stars. Jesus, I forgot about that. The entire Chiefs roster was banned for this game. And Exile 5, they just banned whatever the hell they wanted, I guess. Sivir LeBlanc. I mean, Sivir I've always liked, but she's been pretty weak, so I still wouldn't really recommend picking her. Ashe was still available, and especially if you have a team comp, that wants to go over those picks, Ash is perfectly fine to go for. You don't need to stack up on the extra movement speed unless you want to run a Stampede comp, which you have Elise and LeBlanc. You don't have a Stampede comp right now. On the other side, the Chiefs picked Ezreal, which one of my favorite late game carries, just because of his insane poke damage and just ability to never ever get caught out unless you're an idiot and shift forward into a stun or something. So his ability to kite away from these fights and escape basically any gank is going to be useful. Vlad, kind of the same way. He's really good into these bursts and picks because he can just heal back up everything. But LeBlanc is going to be building that Morellonomicon. So overall, I would give Chiefs like into this draft. I would give them an A plus because this draft is just awful from Exile 5. They they have like two sources of pick, two sources of rotation, and then a good roamer that can burst someone down after you set up the pick. But they just nerfed her damage by so much in this last patch that I don't even think she was worth thinking about picking. Like, they completely gutted her W, and that was the source of a lot of damage. So, super questionable from Exile 5. I would have rather seen Ashe and possibly Cass or Ryze there, because Ryze can also facilitate these rotations and, put Camille on the back line if he wanted to. So, Chiefs, again, they picked the Tahm Kench to serve two purposes: save whoever Camille jumps on and counter Camille in lane. Because, like I said earlier, I've played this matchup before, I've won this matchup before, and it was super easy. Because anytime she goes in on you, you just do the auto attack, tongue, auto, eat, spit her back up, use your shield, and then you win the trade. Because then you just keep auto attacking her, and it's stupid. It's so stupidly easy to win this matchup unless the jungler just camps your lane, because you are not a mobile catfish. You are not very mobile when you're a catfish. And that's going to be it from me. Thank you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate any views or subscribes or likes that I get. I definitely love all of the feedback and the constructive criticism. I actually did get a bit of constructive criticism on my last video, and I'm going to take that into account and try to get someone to help me in working on those picks and bans. But this weekend I do plan on putting out another video if I can. Not too much going on, so I should have the time to do it, and I won't get called in 2 hours before I'm going out on St. Patrick's Day. So hopefully I get my days off this week. But this is the part of the video where you can go do your own thing if you want, and you can end it right here. And I'm just going to talk about myself a little bit. But again, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, let me know if there's anything else I can do better. I know speaking is one of them, because when I think, I like think faster than I talk, and then I stumble over my words and kind of just go off track. Not even just go off track, more just like I lose myself in the thoughts, and then I just like it's better if I like explain something. Like, an example would be basically what I'm doing right now. That, and when I was working with Avant-Garde, I was talking to the top laner, and it took me 10 minutes to basically say work on your snap decision making, because I was saying, like, when you do this, you have to think, oh, do I do this or that? And it basically took 10 minutes for me to say, make decisions faster and think about it faster than you can. So, speaking, a weaker part of my kit, but I'm working on it. I mean, not too much else going on. I only made my last video like last week. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks again for watching. If you made it this far, then I don't know. You might not have too much going on in your life too. How are you doing today? I'm fine. I mean, I just got a raise at work, and one of my favorite coworkers might be coming back, so I'm super excited for that. I still haven't gotten a call back from that job in Iowa, but you know, things come and go. I'm still looking for another job. If you're a coach that happens to be watching this, or a manager, or an owner, I'm still looking for a team. Always looking for, available opportunities, but I do have student loans I need to pay, and like I just said, I got to raise at work, so you're gonna have to give me that money. But all right, I'm done. I'm done talking. I'll see y'all later. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy your life. Have a good one, and I'll see you probably sometime this week. I'll try to do my best to put out another video because I am incredibly lazy. And now I'm really done. Okay.